Pact Armada. Run with us and we gon' have to slaughter. And we outnumber you, why would you bother?
What's up, guys? I'm Kaiken the Reaper, and I'm the original founder and the idea guy behind Palm Pact. And we have a big album dropping tonight, actually at midnight, Palm Pact Armada, 20 tracks. It's our debut album, and we thought, why not take the time and let the viewers and the fans really know how Palm Pact came to be before we really get into this album, and why you guys don't want to miss Palm Pact Armada. So Palm Pact originally was founded in 2015, and before Palm Pact existed, I was Kid Kenner, was my original rap name. And I knew a girl, and I said, I want to put together a rap group. Because I didn't want to be solo. I loved TDE, I loved Pro Era, I loved Flatbush Zombies, Underachievers, Run the Jewels, countless rap groups that came together. So at first, this girl told me, well, why don't you guys call yourselves the Herbivores, because you smoke a lot of weed. So the original name was the Herbivores for a little while, and it was just me and my good friend, Billy Jennings. And after a while I said, you know what, Herbivores, that name's corny. So I came up with my own name this time, all from my own head. And for some reason I made a song called Sip It Slow, where I talk about rolling weed underneath a palm tree. And as soon as I made that song, it's right around the same time I became Kaiken, the name Palm Pact came to me. And the original idea for Palm Pact is, as you see, it's two fists. It's unity between races, between brothers, and it was all these Florida guys coming together saying, we're gonna make Palm Pact, we're gonna make music together, and that's how it was born. And in the early days, Palm Pact, it was me, it was my good friend TJ, I actually had a cousin that was in it. It was totally different people. And throughout the years, you know, some people have left, some have stayed. We had Ashley Dash, shout out, that was in Palm Pact at one point. We had a guy named Arseny who was in Palm Pact. Apollo Cruz was in Palm Pact. And for different reasons, some of these artists left. Well, in 2017, my good friend Eric Bliss was interested in the music, and he hadn't ever even rapped before. But he wanted to make music with me. He wanted to join Palm Pact. I said, sure, why not? So Eric became euphemistic. He joined Palm Pact, and ever since then he's been the second hand, and he's been spitting fire, super fast verses. And he knew the homie Ryan Rev. So then Ryan Rev came in 2018. We also had Woody the Alien was in Palm Pact for a short time. And then after Ryan Rev was in Palm Pact, I knew an artist named Bomber. And you know, he wasn't part of Palm Pact at first, but we were working in the studio, we were making hits together, and as he got to know Palm Pact and everybody in it, he joined. And Halloween 2018, we met Jolly Green, who became one of the biggest and most helpful members of Palm Pact, because he shoots vlogs for us, he records, he does beats, Jolly Green does everything, and really, we have 5 really good members in Palm Pact now. The 5 of us are holding it down. We still have OG Boy Scout and Vinyl Logic, but the 5 main members of Palm Pact are the ones who put this album together. We put our whole heart into Palm Pact and Palm Pact Armada, and we can't wait to share this album with you guys.
Whoa, I'm on camera. What's up, everybody? This is Jolly Green speaking. Smoke one if you got one. Coming to you live today because it's a very special day. Well, tomorrow actually is a special day because tomorrow is Friday, but it's not only Friday. Tomorrow, Palm Pact Armada, the debut album for Palm Pact, the 20-track album that we've been working on for God knows how long, is dropping tomorrow. And we're all excited for that. You're gonna see some more clips from the rest of the guys. We'll be talking about the album, some of our favorite songs, things we like, the making of these songs, and just, you know, give you guys an idea of who Palm Pact is. All of us. Let's get intimate. Let's smoke. Let's chill. So come vibe with us, and yeah, we hope you enjoy Palm Pact.
So in about 2018, me and Euphemistic made a mixtape, and it's called Rampage. Well, one of the songs on Rampage is out on SoundCloud, the mixtape, is called Armada. So that name Armada stuck in my head. So now flash forward to 2020, I had the idea for why don't we make Armada a whole album and expand on this idea. And I had this idea of the ships on the ocean and the battling, and then Brian Rev had the idea for the purple water. So Armada started from an old mixtape idea, and the very first song we recorded for the album was You Know Exactly What I Mean, which was recorded right here in my apartment by me, Ryan, and Bomber. And yeah, we were drunk, we were drinking, we recorded all night long, and as soon as that song was done, probably in January, we said, this is what Armada's going to be. We're just going to record these amazing songs, and we're going to put a 20-song album together for 2020. And even with COVID hitting, we completed that task. And Armada's coming, so get ready. Ken.
Welcome. Euphemistic of Palm Pact here. Very happy to have you here. Just wanted to let you know, midnight today's the day. Got an Armada album dropping, first debut of Palm Pact, and I figured I'd let you know a little bit more about the history of how it is that I came to be, because without Palm Pact, there's no euphemistic, that's just how it is. Because it all started with me coming over to Kenny's house one day to try to help him with a little music video for Kai Ken, you know. Something where I was just kind of acting a part of. We had a friend of ours there as well. He was a temporary addition to Palm Pact, Woody the Alien. And so that essentially just kicked off everything, because after that music video came out, I was coming over regularly for like session, and you know, he'd record songs while I was there, and sure enough, he was trying to instill the confidence in me to go ahead and do it myself, because way back in the day, believe it or not, me, our good friend Billy Jennings, Leighton, this other guy, Poncho, Brandon, and you know, Ken himself, we were all just freestyling in our room, hotboxing it, and just, you know, spitting some random shit. I don't remember if any of it was honestly all that good. But, you know, here we are. So with that kind of confidence and everything that he instilled in me, talking about how, oh, we used to freestyle this back in the day, all it is just having a mic in front of you. Let's get to it. And the rest is fucking history, because after a couple songs that we did as singles, after me being on Palm Pact Mixtape Volume 2, we ended up working on something called Soul Shard. Soul Shard was essentially the very first project that I ever released where it was like just my name and somebody else is a part of it, me and Kenny. And it was Sacros Beats as well. Look him up, excellent fucking producer. Not for monetary purposes, but his beats are marvelous regardless. And from there, we also worked on things like, we did Rampage, Pop Drip Culture, we did, oh my gosh, the list goes on, Palm Pact Chiefs, Mystic Land of the Kais. All in the meantime, I was working on an album of my own, Ikigai, and he was dropping like project after project on his own as well. Single like Lit City 2, Lit City 3, Black Lit Flag, and just, the list goes on, Lost Scrolls of the Kai. But, you know, throughout the duration of this time, we ended up just kind of picking up all the pieces, you know. I ended up picking up, you know, we got Jolly, he was probably next up. I think we already had Ryan as part of Palm Pact actually initially before Jolly. And then Bomber ended up coming along as well. Of course, we lost a good artist of ours, a good friend of ours. Well, he's still our friend, but, you know, we ended up not having Chef as a part of the group anymore, which is totally fine, you know. Everything happens for a reason, and we respect him as an artist, as a person, all that good jazz. And we accept him back with open arms as far as just collabing, hanging out, and all that jazz. So, you know, Palm Pact has been going strong ever since, and that's essentially the story of how I came to be a part of this, because, you know, there wouldn't be no euphemistic without Palm Pact. If I never got integrated with Kenny and he didn't try to instill the confidence in me to begin with, I wouldn't be rapping, I'd be an acoustic artist. And I guess I still kind of am an acoustic artist, so music by Eric Bliss coming soon. I don't know.
Fuck!
Little question for the viewers.
You got a question? Go ahead.
Yeah. When is it that you entered Palm Pact, Jolly? Or how about not when you entered, like not when you officially joined, but how about when you first met Palm Pact?
Well, that was a pretty infamous night, because that night we, okay, so I know this guy, Justin Dragato. He's a musician, and you know, he knows a lot of people, and he had connections to this place downtown St. Pete. This place was called the Paper Crane, this little warehouse like slash venue. So he was like, yo, hosting he called it the Vampire Party, and so it was just like a Halloween party slash show at this place, and I was just like, all right, yeah, I'll go. Fuck it, why not? So I go, and like, you know, I didn't really know many people there, but as soon as I got there, the first person I saw was Chef, and he offered to smoke me out with a blunt, and I was like, you know what? I'll do it, right? And I was like, I don't know this guy, but fuck it, I'll smoke a blunt. So go over there, and then all of a sudden, like, these guys come over, this group of guys, and they're just like, yo, what's up, and everything, and they're all wearing their costumes, and I'm just like, yo, and I've got my own costume, and it's just like, all right, you know, just meeting new people, smoking and shit, chilling, and you know, then just one thing, you know, leads to another. We're just showing each other music, talking about stuff, what we do. I tell them I'm a producer, I make beats, and you know, like, we should work together and whatnot. And then I see these guys perform, and that was it. That was the defining moment, because I knew, I was like, I'm gonna work with these guys, because these guys got talent. These guys got something real going on, and they're just chill guys, you know. So I'm just like, yeah, this is it. History in the making.
All right. Well, anything else you'd like to tell the good people?
Yeah, I don't know. There's not really much to say, you know.
Just smoke them if you got them.
Smoke them if you got them, and fucking enjoy the show, y'all.
Oh. Well, hey. I didn't see you there. It's Euphemistic of Palm Pact. I got Kai Ken to my left, a little jolly behind the camera. Smoke him if you got him. I got scooped a little bit.
All in good fun, all in good taste. Well, maybe not good taste, but.
Armada. Dropping tonight. We're gonna go right back to that, starting with the very first song. It's All Hands on Deck. So this song, it was constructed right after we had just performed a show in the Orpheum. This was earlier this year, actually, maybe January, end of January, I think is when the show was, and it was an excellent show. I had a really great time. It was obviously before the pandemic, so we had no idea that 2020 was gonna hit us like a fucking bag of dicks, but here we are, with the whole album done. All Hands on Deck was recorded at my ex-girlfriend's house. We were just right there in the living room, had ourselves a nice little home setup, and I brought out my acoustic guitar. We decided to start something from scratch. We decided to take the entire vibes, everything, the fucking momentum and the motivation from the show that we had just done to just make something. So I had my acoustic guitar, we had no drums laid down, nothing. I decided to go ahead and just put down a very simplistic riff, something I'd heard in a song before, something I'd added to songs of my own, and with my own flavor, of course, and then everything just developed from there. There was kind of a RuneScape-inspired sample that was drawn out by Just Jason. Just Jason was a part of the production. It was Jolly's setup, so of course he was part of the production. Ryan came in, delivered an incredible hook. I ended up writing my verse well after Kenny already recorded his. He recorded his, I think, you're the second verse on the whole track. And the rest is history. Everyone essentially had a little bit of an imprint on the song, whether it was just writing a verse, producing it in some way or fashion. And what's more incredible is I think all of our verses are relatively short as well, making the song cap out under 4 minutes, which is good for as many hooks as there are and as many verses as there are. I think it's just compiled with a little bit of everything that you need. Jolly ended up putting his electric guitar solo at the end. You can't miss it. It's absolutely fucking incredible, and that's how that song came to be.
That is a kitty. The kitty is directing this whole thing the whole time.
Yo, it's your boy, the B.O.M.B, baby. Yo, let me hit some weed before this interview. Hold up. Hit the stink. This album's also known as the Chronicles of the Stinky and the Smelly, because of the pot we've been smoking and consuming during the album. Let me tell you about the album. Palm Pact Armada, 20 tracks, and you know, this is a big project, a controversial piece of art that Palm Pact has studiously presented to you guys. We've been working months on end, no sleeping, no resting, just recording for months. You know, Eric lost his voice halfway through this recording. That was out for a couple weeks. You know, this album has a lot of culture behind it. You know, this is the kind of things that we actually live. A lot of good stories that are gonna live on for years beyond our time. You know, 200 years from now, they're gonna be singing Palm Pact, Palm Pact, and you'll be hearing it worldwide. Let me tell you something about this album. 20 tracks, about 10 of them produced by yours truly. The B, the O, the M, the B, okay? We got Jolly Green on production. We got Ron Rev making a producer feature onto this product. Palm Pact Armada, 11/19. That's tomorrow for you turd heads that don't already know. All you jabronis out there been sitting on SoundCloud, Spotify. I know y'all heard the single. Y'all heard the single, all hands on deck. It came back. We putting 20 more, 19 more out there for all of y'all. We gonna be telling stories of our lives. We have sad songs, we got happy songs, we got love-making songs, okay? And that's what this whole album's about, and loving and enjoying life. You see?
What do we got here, sir?
Dropping bamboo in the Mountain Dew. You think you're cute, you a dupe, sounding crude. Let me tell you what, this is the Armada, featuring none other than the founder, Kai Ken, that's the founder. Euphemistic, hailing from our own St. Pete. Coming in, the best spitter in the world. He's coming for your title, M. He's coming for you. Doom better watch out. We got the best producer on this side of the Mississippi. Jolly Green. Ron Rev. People don't know this about Rev. T-Pain had a child back in about 96, 95, I don't know.
96.
He never saw him again. It was a white kid, his name's Ron Rev. It's like his identical brother, Tallahassee Payne's. Ron Rev singing the best hooks, the best you ever heard. And that's the Armada for you. 2020, we coming in harder than ever, baby.
Y'all, do you know something?
That's the founder.
That's the founder. I'm the founder.
That's the founder.
That's the
And-
founder.
Anyone who's not a founder, it's like if you're not Palm Pact or at least like affiliated or enjoying what it is that happens, like just part of the general family.
You're a flounder. And Palm Pact, we out here catching the flounders. So look out for the song The Founder on Palm Pact. It explains our whole story. It goes hard. And Bomber made the beat.
You know, I think I've lived a long life. You know, I've been alive over 20 years. You know, I've met a lot of people. You know, but there's only one. Everyone else.
And it's not George Washington. It's Kai Ken.
It's not Christopher Columbus, fuck that guy.
Everyone else I've met,
nothing.
you know, everyone else, they were just flounders.
Rockefeller,
There's flounders, man.
Rockefeller ain't shit.
They bottom feeders. We up here founding shit.
Jeff Bezos ain't shit.
PXP.
I
Should
remember.
It should be FXF for founder. Founder X founder. But it's not.
I remember when it was a stormy night outside. It had been raining for a couple hours. and
You were just a wee lad.
we were all together, right in this exact room.
Yep.
And we were working on some things, and then all of a sudden, Kai stepped up to the plate, and he just, like, he almost hurt himself. He was spitting so much gold, like, we actually took it to the pawn shop a couple hours
Almost
later.
broke my neck. I was rapping
He
so
was
hard.
spitting out glitter, just diamonds were coming out. And he was talking about being the founder, and he was proclaiming the way that everyone else was floundering.
This is the way.
You know?
The founder or flounders.
Hey, Bomber.
That cat is directing the camera.
Did you hear the news?
The news.
Yeah. That's the founder.
That's the founder, baby!
Hey, hold on. Just before everyone else gets hyped along with him, just know that he gets hyped first. Why? Because that's the founder.
That's the founder.
That's the founder right here.
That's the fucking founder. You know what? That's the fucking founder. You know what? That's the fucking founder.
Oh no, he's okay.
We're gonna take a shot.
Let's do it. Off camera, let's take a shot.
No,
we're taking a
shot right now.
No, I got something to say to the camera.
Off.
I got something to say to the camera. You know, I was passing through. You know, we were in this room when gold was just coming out of his mouth, and we were listening to this beat that I spent at least 4 or 5 hours crafting. And Kai had been working all night, writing his bars to this prophecy that he was spitting. And I looked through the madness. When I heard these words, I got through the madness, through the mania, and I passed through a different ionosphere, where I hit a fantasy land of just fairies and rainbows, and it was a really nice place. And you know who was the only one I saw there? The founder.
The founder. Founded.
Coming out now on the Palm Pact Armada.
Palm Pact Armada, baby.
Out now,
Listen.
everywhere. Wow.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your friendly neighborhood Ryan Rev here. The album drops in like 30 minutes, so we're gonna, break down some of the shit, that went along, going down behind this. One of the songs I was behind, like for real, was The Rain, the Storm, the Shine, track 16. I made the beat. 5th beat I ever made. I made it back in May. I had made a beat in like April, so I was just like, one night it was like 2 in the morning, and I was just like, you know what, man? Fuck it, let me open FL, and I just, found a cool piano sound, and it just kind of spread from there, and then over see, I got the trial version because I'm cheap, so I just had to keep it open because once you can't save a project and come back to it, so I just had the project open for like a couple of days, got it all sequenced and figured out and shit, then dropped like a snippet in the group chat, and I was like, y'all want on it? They were like, hell yeah. So, we had that, and then that was back in May. But we didn't actually even start recording to it until like a fucking month ago. And we brought that shit to the big house, or not the big house, the beach bungalow. You can check that vlog out. You might see some behind the scenes, some bars you might recognize. We got Ken to drop his verse there. We got Eric to drop his verse there. We did the chants at the beginning, and I laid my hook. And it's crazy because I had that hook, like that melody, like the night I made the beat, but I just kept it in my head and until got to recording it recently, and then it was one of the last songs that had to be completed, and all I had to do is finish my verse, and it was crazy. Jolly, we had to go through it, man. We had 3 songs that needed verses, and within up until we recorded, this was one of the verses, we recorded this the morning of the day that we uploaded the album, right? So this was super fucking last minute, but it all came together. I liked the verse that I came up for it. That was a really important one to me, and the song as a whole to have it, first real placement on an album of a whole beat that I made myself, and to get the boys on it, and everybody did their thing. It's 5 minutes and 55 seconds long, and it doesn't ever dip and get boring. In my opinion, one of the most hardest tracks out there right now. You crank this shit in your car with the bass up, you can't help but smile. That shit fucking bangs. So if you get to that song, make sure you're playing it through some headphones or good car speakers, because you got to get the full effect. That hook, the verses, the whole thing. But yeah, that was my baby. So I hope you guys enjoy Rainstorm Shine. If you guys want to say something about Rainstorm Shine, jump in.
I love how my verse came out. The song overall came out really fire.
The rain, the storm, the shine, kind and both in the grind.
Hey,
that's all you gotta say about it.
yes sir. One for me that stuck out.
Some habits I have them, the good and the bad ones.
Yo, you want to try
was
this,
Stuck, actually, which was recorded at the Big House. And Bomber recorded his hooks, and Burler mixed it, and Burler has some of the best mixes out there. Shout out Burler World from Miami-Dade County.
Shout out Burler.
And I just wrote a verse real quick, and Burler added this crisp auto-tune, so you get to hear auto-tune Eric on Lions Den, and you get to hear, auto-tune Kai sliding that shit. It sounds good. It's nice to listen to the album. It's a fun song. We're all out here wearing Kai hats. Let's get it.
I would like to talk about a song I personally love. It's called Need
Tell
It
me your
Now.
name, man. Do they know who you are? This is euphemistic. If you guys didn't know, under all this, that's euphemistic.
Who's euphemistic? No, okay. But so I wanted to talk about Need It Now. It's a personal favorite of mine. Why? Because this man presented this song to me about, I want to say maybe 7 months ago, something like that. It was earlier this year. But no, when he sent me this song, it had kind of like an 80s, like a kind of a house vibe to it. He laid down a hook on it that was just undeniable in my opinion. I was just like, all right, well, he set me up. Let me just hit a home run. You know, no balls, no strikes, no outs, and then shit, there we go. That was exactly how Need It Now came to be. I think I wrote that within the span of a night and a morning. It was like less than 12 hours that I was like, all right, let me just record this on my little
I had it
phone.
in your email for a couple months.
Oh, well, I mean, I downloaded it. It was in my laptop. I had it in a file. I have a whole file called Bomber Beats. It's just shit you sent me. And, like, I'm just going through them, like, one by one, you know? I'm not trying to rush nothing because, you know, every beat from Bomber deserves a little bit of love and care, so.
Yeah.
That's how Need It Now came to be. Kimbo slicing the mic, I'll be dishing these hands.
Did you guys talk about Grind Don't Stop yet?
No, actually.
Ooh,
So, no, go ahead, you can take over.
Alright, so Grind Don't Stop, track 12. This is an oldie. This is probably next to Need It Now is Bomber's Parts of Need It Now, probably one of like the oldest songs on the tape. But it was from the night that we met Bomber for the first time, actually, and I think it was December like 27th or 26th or some shit like that.
It was like 2019.
It was
barely.
the very end of December in 2018, right? And we knew Ken was like, I got a session at the Boom Boom Room with my dog Bomber, you know, whatever. So boom boom. So I'm eating dinner, right? And they had a session until like 9 or like till 10 or some shit. And all of a sudden Ken drops in the group chat, hey, I'm with Bomber. He says it's an open studio, man. Anybody that wants to come through and vibe out, come through. So I was like, I never been in a like legit studio at that point yet. So I was like, fuck this. I stopped eating dinner. Eric said he was ready. I threw some pants on and hopped in my car immediately. Slid to this guy, scooped him up in the parking lot. Then we sped the fuck up to the studio. Got up there with about 35 minutes left to spare. Met Bomber for the first time. And pretty sure it's the first time I met BZ too, for real. And then we like literally just, he said, hey, BZ, pull up a fucking beat. He had like this file, this folder of a shitload of beats. He just picked one. So he picked one. It was hard, and I just started going, said the grind don't stop. Oh, no, 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 no. And they're like, hey, go put that down. I was like, me? And
This was like right after I had just written a verse right there in the studio, and then as I'm over there, you know, inside the fucking, you know, booth, this man's humming the hook, then he lays down the hook, and then by the time I'm done with my verse, he's already got a verse written.
Oh yeah, yeah. I go in there and I just lay down this hook. I just came up with it on the spot, and it was sounding good. And then I came back in. Bomber goes in there, knocks out his verse. Bryce copy and pastes the hook. Eric goes in there, knocks out his verse, and we had that whole song done. The version that you hear, the whole song done in like 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. And now it still holds up, man. That shit's crazy. It's great, you know. We still don't know who produced the beat, but you know, we'll find out one day, and
we'll give them their royalties and their credit.
Yeah, so enjoy Grind Don't Stop, Ryan Rev, Euphemistic, and Bomber. Great song.
Alright.
Yo.
Euphemistic?
And Jolly Green.
We're here to talk about a very special song on the Armada album, something we consider a little bit of an interlude.
Bit of a skit track, you know.
It's called Poop Deck.
Poop Deck interlude.
How does something called Poop Deck come to be? Well, it starts with a couple noises. You just have a mic rolling for at least a good like 5 minutes and just have a euphemistic just lay down however many noises he can just possibly conjure up.
This is the man of 1,000 sounds. Any sound effect you could possibly think of, this man makes it. And we recorded a bunch of those.
And well, he was the one who went ahead and just like he heard everything that I had to put down. I tried to keep in mind, you know, lower sounds for bass, and so on and so forth. And
yeah, gave him some tips, and we're just like, all right, I got the percussive stuff. We got the stuff for like, you know, there's no melody, it's just sounds. So it's just like, all right, I had to arrange them in a certain way where it was like, okay, sounds like a beat. You know?
Or there was an actual structure to it, and sure enough, he ended up giving a good 2 16s. There's at least 2 16s in this little ditty, and sure enough, we had no idea what we were gonna do with it. It was just a voice beat. We didn't know if we were gonna rap on it. I mean, I anticipated that I would eventually. Never did I actually think I would. And certainly, you know, after some time, we had a couple ideas to do some chants over it, where maybe we could just leave it as it was. No, in the end, I ended up having a verse that fit way too perfectly for me to pass up. I'm like, nah. Like, I got a studio set.
For a while, we didn't know what was gonna go on that beat. We thought maybe it was gonna just be like, just no vocals, just the beat itself.
No one heard the verse, and I was actually gonna spit on it ever.
And then we thought it was gonna be Poop Deck, Poop Deck, Poop Deck.
Oh yeah.
And we were just like, no, we'll keep that as the title of the track, and then Eric laid down some vocals.
I heard the cadence that this man went for with the you know, my voices and everything, and I just went with it. So we called it a rap. It's a little interlude, some sort of little median between, you know, the first half, the second half, to give you a little
comic relief,
a grace period, if you will.
It's the binding of the book.
It is, man. It really is like in the middle of the album, pretty much, you know.
You flip it to the next page. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and cue that music.
Boom.
What's up, guys? This is Kai Ken Ryan Rev, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about one of the tracks on Armada called 999. So this track came about because I was emailed a beat by a friend named Dark Mark, who changed his name to Sly. At the time, he was called Dark Mark. Very early this year, and he called the beat 999, which I really liked because I felt like he knew a lot of rappers rap 666, which is more like devilish or whatever, but I'm more the opposite of that, where to me I like to flip it to 999, which is like something more holy and angelic. And he called the beat that, and it was like a Kai Ken sounding beat, like the synths and shit, different from what Dark Mark usually produces, so I fucked with it. So of course I called the song 999, and I built, you know, the song about that, and it's a great beat. And Ryan Rev was gonna rap on it, but you know, COVID hit, so it's hard for him to record. And honestly, I got a little trigger happy, and I really wanted to drop the song, so I just dropped it with my parts when originally Ryan Rev was supposed to be on it. So what we did is, for Armada, we had Jolly come back, and he mastered the song even more, so you can hear my vocals even more crisp than the version anybody can hear out there today. And then from then, Ryan has now slid on it. He's going to tell you about how that came to be.
Yeah, he was like, I think you fit on this, and I came up with like a melody that, it's the 999 that you hear on there. I had that melody like way back in like February, but as we know, As we know, in 2020, COVID hit. So when I was getting ready to like write out this verse, shit, well, now the studio is closed, and fuck, I can't really record at home because that just wasn't an option at the time. And so it's like I got behind, and that song just sat and sat. But then eventually we got around to it. Once kind of around August, started recording more, figuring shit out, working with the what we had, doing what we had to do, and came back, laid down the hook with Jolly, and then when we got to the Beach Bungalow, this is another Beach Bungalow track. You can actually see me recording my verse in that video, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I wrote that verse literally. I kind of started figuring out the day of, and I wrote it on using voice notes on the way to the Beach Bungalow. And yeah, we knocked that song out, added some chords to it, just kind of, added to the song a bit. Now it's like, it's just this dope, crazy, it's like it's totally different because Dark Mark's production style is so like unique. Like the 808s, the kicks, it just, the way it's mixed, it just hits differently. So that's a good one. You get, touch on some different subject matter. And I think it does a good job being a track 9 and a good way to close out the first half of the album. So yeah, 999, Dark Mark, Kai Ken, Ryan Rev. Hope you enjoy it.
You're tuning in to the Palm Pact Armada, where we talk about our favorite songs off the legendary debut release, Palm Pact Armada. This is track number
11.
11.
Track 11.
This is a very important song. You see, homie here, he was blacked out. He was very drunk. As we all get, because we're all human beings. And this man passed out on the couch. And what proceeded to happen was he woke up and started throwing up sapphires and rubies into the microphone.
So what really happened is I was awoken from my slumber.
At the big house.
At the big house.
With Burler.
With Burler World.
Shout
out Burler World.
This man just starts, like, Burler just starts playing, like, one of the most fire beats I've heard in a hot minute. I'm just like, hold the fucking phone. I start freestyling to it. He's like, hey, why don't you
beat I forgot I made.
And Burler's just like, why don't you just lay that down on the mic? And I'm like, fuck if I remember what I just rapped. But I decided to go and freestyle on it anyway. And the key word is freestyle because, let me tell you, I'm not necessarily proud of how it came out, but this is where we go to the controversy. There's a little bit of controversy of whether or not we would actually drop this video, or, you know, whether or not my verse was gonna stand as is. I wanted to like fix it, or ended up doing this and that. We ended up leaving it as it was, and you know, these boys love it a lot. Then, I mean, obviously, they spit fucking fire on it.
Shout out the Lightning,
you know,
2020 Stanley Cup champs.
I apologize for any Python, or Anaconda out there. Like, y'all didn't deserve what I did to this track, but, yeah, you know.
Nah, that's just slip, man.
Shit's fine.
Man, that shit was crazy. Because when I pulled up, I wasn't there the first night. I was like, I had no bars ready. I don't know what's gonna happen. We're just gonna go into the big house and see what the fuck happens, right? So I pull up and I'm like, oh shit, this place is dope. And we, like the way the living room, you know, there's like that step down into the living room. It really like the lion's den is like that whole room just felt like it, because it was like I'm getting in there and Eric, he's playing the beat, and they had recorded Eric's part over earlier, and there was only one open verse. So I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get him, blah, blah. And then Bomber's like, I got it, and he just goes up and just like starts laying it down, and it's going crazy. And I'm like, oh fuck, and I start coming up with bars in my head. They start just popping up. And once that start happening, that's when you pop in the popcorn. Once the kernels start popping, you about to have a whole bag. You know what I'm saying? And then, so once Bomber laid down his verse, I was like, hey, Burler, extend that beat, I need one.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right. And so he extended the beat, and I just got up there. I had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew the first two lines, and I said, shit, that's enough to work off. I walked up to the mic. You can see some clips of that in the Big House vlog. Go check that out. You can see some of the creations of these songs. And I just looked at Burler, I said, we're going to do this verse 2 lines at a time until it's done. And he said, all right. And and you know, just, I've been going through some things I know you can't believe. And then it just like, I just did it and knocked out that verse in like 25 minutes or so. And you know, it just was such a vibe. It was somewhere I wasn't even expecting that. It was just totally in the fucking sauce and the vibe. And that song came out great. It's one of my favorites. You can crank that shit in the car. It goes so hard.
We made that song right after we watched Cody Rhodes beat Brody Lee for the TNT Championship.
Man, that man held that championship for like a week.
Infamous dog collar match.
And
so everything we rap about is we talk about our real lives.
Our real fucking lives.
Shout out to the Lightning 2020 Stanley Cup champion.
For real.
Hey. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Shout out to
Miami Heat. They made it to the finals. Shout out to them having such a young team and a good core built around Jimmy Butler. Shout out to the fucking Tampa Bay Rays.
Shout out my boy T Brady, baby.
Shout out to Bomber for making that fire beat.
Bro, and Burler for the mix. Burler
for the
World.
insane engineering. I never
Airbnb.
worked with this dude before, and we just like clicked like that. He knew exactly what to do, and it sounded
I felt like
amazing.
I've known this man for years.
So that's track 11, Lions Den Freestyle. Go check that shit out. great way to start the second half of the album. Crank that shit in your car.
This was the Palm Pact Armada, baby. Shoo!
Boom, boom.
What up, everybody? It's Jolly Green back at you.
Ryan Rev.
We're here with Ryan Rev and the founder of Palm Pact.
Founder.
The founder. No, I'm not going to say that, no. But
Let's get into it.
we're going to talk about Palm Pact Cypher 3, which is track 20, the last track of the album, and actually the longest track on the album. It's like 5 minutes. And we got everybody on this track. Well, except for me. But I made the beat. So I was going to talk about that. It has this really cool flute sample that I just really like. I found it somewhere, like in a sample pack on my computer. I'm just like, all right, well, gotta use this, and that just starts the whole vibe, you know. Find a really great sample, boom, perfect melody, and I just built the beat around that, and it's real just simple and it's long, you know. Made it long enough so that we could have multiple people on it, and the guys heard it and they're just like, yo, we gotta make this into a cypher track. So boom, we made it happen, and we threw a little extra surprises in there. So, but yeah, I'm gonna hand it off to Mr. Kaiken, the founder, because he is the first on the cypher track.
Yeah, as soon as I heard that beat that Jolly made, it was already talked about that we needed a cypher song. So every Palm Pact project that has dropped, there's been a cypher song on it or around it. There was a Palm Pact mixtape volume 1 dropped in 2017 when Chef Loft was in it, and
First Palm Pact
TJ, and well, he went by TG, and Euphemistic, and myself, and we dropped the Palm Pact Cypher 1. Then we dropped Winter OG in the December of 2018, which was the second project, and there was a Palm Pact Cypher was supposed to go on that, Cypher 2, that actually got delayed to later last year, which had Woody the Alien on it when he was in Palm Pact, Ryan Rev, Euphemistic, and myself, which is actually before Bomber came in. That was Cypher 2.
But even though it's labeled as just Palm Pact Cypher, it's actually Palm Pact Cypher 2.
It's the second one. So this is the third Cypher Palm Pact has ever done with all the current members. One of the best ones we've done, because as soon as I heard, I even aligned the song, I'm like, I'm a pirate rapping Asian beats, because like it's like so Asian ninja sounding to me, and just a good track, man.
I love that kind of sound.
Flutes and the...
Yeah. And that's the Cypher 3.
Alright, who's next? Eric? Eric, come talk about your verse.
Get up here.
The album's out in 3 minutes. 4 minutes.
Really not that much to say about my verse, honestly, because it was written to a completely different beat. He just, presented the beat to us. I just tried to lay it down on there. I wrote a little bit of extra, and next thing you know, bada bing, bada boom, you got a little something in the room. So yeah, don't overutilize Zoom. Get outside.
Whoa.
Bomber, do you want to talk about your verse?
Oh no, cameraman.
Beat like
Y'all
beat.
should talk about that.
Alright.
They can't see us.
Alright, I'll talk about the rest. Alright, so yeah, like Jolly said, when he had made the beat, he just dropped it in the group chat. This shit was like 5 minutes long, and I just listened to it. We were just like, Brett, this is the Cypher 3. It was just like, you just knew immediately. And so, yeah, so we got Ken's verse and Eric's verse down, and then we were at the beach bungalow. It was also one of the songs that was worked on in those sessions, where I did not have my shit ready, and Bomber was like, fuck it, Rick, we gotta get him on there, and we were fucked. This came on, this is like 3 in the morning, we're all just fucking lit, and we just went in there, and he just came off the top, just chopped it up, and then we had to cut some lines out, you had to salvage it, but because we just had to keep it authentic, keep it real, and I love it. It's my favorite.
Bomber,
verse.
get up here. You're on the Cypher. Get up here, man.
All my bitch eat is cow feed.
Oh my god.
Cow feed. I eat a lot of cow feed. The hidden line, no one will hear it. And then after that, we had that, and then we knocked out the little chant part at the end at the beach bungalow, and then all that was left was my verse. That was actually the last thing I wrote and recorded. I finished it the day that we uploaded the album to distribution services.
The day of.
I written the Rainstorm Shine beat the night before, and I went there to record it with Jolly and record Cypher 3. I finished the Cypher verse on the way to your place. I started it like that morning, And we came in and laid it down and just knocked it out, and I really liked it. It was one of my favorite verses, and yeah, just
definitely for the amount of time that you had to do that verse. Holy shit!
In like a few hours, boom, and then we laid it down, and it was like shit. That's it. That was the last puzzle piece, and at that point, we had the complete full Palm Pact Cypher 3, an insane track. I might have video coming for that. I have some ideas. So but peep the visualizer. It's out there. Super dope.
It's coming.
Go check that shit out. Go stream it. Track 20, Palm Pact Cypher 3, featuring fucking everybody.
Listen to the entire album.
Listen to the entire
track
album.
1 to track 20. Smoke a fat one.
You need to hear it from 1 to 20. There's a specific. It's an experience. You can't just be jumping around.
Can't shuffle it.
You gotta. There's a reason. You have shit placed in order for a reason. Like you gotta listen to it front to back, and then pick the ones you like. But that first listen, front to back. Track 20, Palm Pact.
Ain't nothing like that first listen.
Back.